Do you know the story of Gideon? When the Midianites attacked Israel, Gideon was hiding, threshing wheat in a winepress. Then the angel of the Lord appeared and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon replied, "Me? I'm nobody. My family is the weakest in the whole tribe." But the angel said, "I will be with you. You will defeat the Midianites." Still unsure, Gideon asked God for a sign, and later came the famous fleece test, where God proved his power. From that moment on, Gideon began to trust and rise into the warrior God had called him to be. And that night, Gideon tested God with the fleece. First, he asked for the fleece to be wet while the ground stayed dry, and it happened. Then he asked for the fleece to stay dry while the ground was wet, and it happened again. So Gideon knew this was from God, and he began to gather an army. Gideon gathered 32,000 soldiers, but God said, "That's too many. I will choose who goes into battle." And God told Gideon, "With these 300 men you will defeat the Midianites." So Gideon divided the men into 3 groups. Each carried a trumpet, a jar, and a torch hidden inside the jar. In the middle of the night, Gideon's 300 surrounded the Midianite camp. At his signal, they blew their trumpets, smashed their jars, and shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." The Midianites woke in confusion. Thinking they were under attack, they turned their swords on each other. In the end, the army fled, and God gave Israel the victory. Now, how big was the army of Midian? The Bible says they were like locusts covering the ground, and yet they were defeated by only 300 men. Do you see how useless our own strength is without God? But with Him, even the weakest can overcome the strongest. God doesn't need your strength. With Him, little is more than enough. Remember David and Goliath? That's another story that proves God doesn't need your strength. And there are even more stories like that, so subscribe and don't miss what's coming next.